All right. Hello, friends, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Dreambound. In the last episode, we were hopping into a dream in order to find out where Kane has gone. He's just disappeared. We enlisted the help of Ivan in order to figure out where he has disappeared off to, and we decided that we were going to go searching through dreams and see if he's anywhere in there. So with that little memory booster, let's hop into this and let's see what happens next for Noah and Kane and everybody in this story. Noah's stomach lurched as a feeling of weightlessness came over him. No matter how many times he entered the world of dreams, he still couldn't wrap his head around it. But maybe that's to be expected. How is anybody supposed to get used to something that ought to be impossible? The feeling of sickness eventually subsided, and Noah cracked his eyes open. Cautiously, he glanced about. He wasn't sure whose dream he had ended up in or where he would be. I have to say, Asher, I'm disappointed in you. I thought that you were better than this. But this uncertainty was soon shattered. Noah's surroundings came into sudden, sharp focus, like a dial had been adjusted on the side of a microscope. Noah was standing in an office, facing a middle-aged woman with chestnut hair and an attractive face. The last time Noah had seen this woman, she had been a silhouette, a shadowy figure in Asher's dream. He still recognized her, however, though he could see more of her features. This was Professor Pearson, one of Asher's lecturers at university. Is this Asher's dream, then? I don't know if we'll find Kane here. You're a smart boy, Asher. You just need to apply yourself more. If I was grading you based on merit alone, I would have passed you without any issues, but as it stands, I don't know if we'll find Kane here. Unless he's come back for Asher, that is. Next place, then. Okay, bye. The world once again shifted around them. Professor Pearson's office melted away, to be replaced with an interior which was slightly more familiar. Noah was in his living room, his mother facing him. Oh, hello. She frowned when she saw Noah. And where have you been, huh? School finished 3 hours ago. Don't tell me you were hanging around with that Rivers boy again. I already told you he's a bad influence. Noah's mother cast her gaze sideways, her eyes meeting Ivan's. And who in the world is this? Those clothes are ludicrous. He didn't escape from a circus, did he? Maybe I did. Who's the hag? The what? I wasn't talking to you. Noah nearly burst out laughing, but instead, he reined it in. My mother. Right. I can see why you didn't give a shit when she died. Noah, I demand you stop associating with this filth immediately. I might be filth, but at least I'm not a pearl-clutching middle-aged woman with a stick up her ass. Noah! What are you doing with this man? We're, going on a bit of a trip together? While I live and breathe, that is not going to happen. Now go up to your room and prepare for dinner. Sorry to burst your bubble, but you're not living and breathing. Noah, you listen here. Noah did not listen here, however. He hadn't a chance. In a blink, the world around them began to alter itself once again. Colors merged and ran, like paint dripping down a canvas. Disjointed scenes began to flicker crazily in front of Noah's eyes. It was like a hellish kaleidoscope, so intense it made him feel sick. There was a circus tent in flames. Okay. There was a circus tent in flames, acrid smoke filling the air. A castle fit for a fairy tale princess, its ramparts covered in thorns. A hall full of mirrors, extending out into infinity. And then, with a sudden jolt, the world righted itself. The flickering images dispersed, as though they had never been there in the first place. Noah's soles met solid ground, and his stomach lurched upwards inside him. He gagged, one hand pressed to his throat. Nausea swirled inside him, threatening to erupt from past his parted lips. You know what? I'm not going to voice act that for you, Noah. You can just figure that one out for yourself. But after taking in several lungfuls of clean air, he was able to steady himself. Don't go dying on me. Yeah, well, that's the plan. Thank fuck for that. Somebody sounds relieved. Noah raised an eyebrow. I didn't think you cared that much. I'm not a huge fan of dead bodies. That's more Kane's thing, huh? Noah inhaled a breath of air carefully, then glanced about. His eyes were burning after the onslaught of images he'd been exposed to, but he thought he recognized his surroundings. It was dark, and he was surrounded by trees. He was in the mountains, on the trail he and Kane and August had always taken to school, and it was raining, heavily. Noah had always thought that the mountains were pretty, but that was during the day when the sun was high in the sky. At night, however, it was much more eerie. Noah knew he was inside a dream, but his surroundings had been replicated so perfectly, every rustle in the undergrowth made him start. Noah glanced about, his eyes straining in the dark and the storm. The moon was bright, but mostly concealed behind the heavy rain clouds. I can barely see a foot in front of my face. This reminds me of that night. Don't think about it, Noah. I'm here for Kane. Noah continued to crane his neck, looking this way and that, when... Ivan froze in place. Sunshine? What are you talking about? Noah followed Ivan's line of sight, squinting through the darkness and rain. He gasped. I love when the game does that and I voice it as a gasp, and then the game goes on to say that somebody gasped. Like, I know, I already did it. There was a figure out there after all, standing several paces away. Noah hadn't noticed him at first, given it was so very dark. Now his eyes had begun to adjust, however. He could make this person out. They had fair blonde hair. For a moment, Noah thought it was Crow. They could have been Crow's mirror image, in fact. But the boy standing beneath the stars, his head bent as he checked his phone, wasn't Crow. It was August. What is he doing out here? What's going on? Whose dream is this? Is it mine? Kane's? August's? It's like he never left me. It's like he never died. What is he doing, though, out in the mountains so late at night? It isn't safe here. Don't tell me. It's getting chilly. August mumbled this under his breath as he shifted from foot to foot, his fingers still curled around his phone. Where are you, Noah? You were meant to be here 15 minutes ago. Wait, what? He's waiting for me? Then, does that mean... Why? How? Ivan, do you know August? August? That's August. He was my... We knew each other from school. Okay, interesting description. For once, Ivan looked genuinely confused, scared, perhaps even dumbfounded, staring at August like he was seeing a ghost. I have to go talk to him. Hey, Ivan, wait! What are you doing? Noah grabbed hold of Ivan's sleeve, and he turned back with a scowl. Just wait. We can go talk to him in a minute, but don't you think this could be important? If this is Kane's dream. But I have so many things to say to him. Me too. Ivan knows August? But how? I never saw them together. Ivan didn't even go to my school, did he? I have theories. I don't want to say them, just in case, but I definitely have theories on how this is going down. Could they have known each other before August moved here? No, I don't think so. Noah's thoughts were interrupted by the sound of the rain, getting even heavier. Ah, jeez, the rain really isn't letting up. It didn't say anything about this on the weather forecast. Maybe I should have brought an umbrella. A large gust of wind passed through, rustling the leaves overhead and causing them to skitter across the ground. Droplets of moisture fell from the cloudy sky. They struck the top of August's head, slid down the nape of his neck. He shuddered, then glanced about, his eyes narrowed behind the lenses of his glasses. I've got to get to shelter. I'm sure Noah will be here soon. He was waiting for you out here? In this weather? There wasn't anything I could do about it. I can't watch this. I can't go through this again. August hurried off, presumably to find a canopy of trees he could duck beneath. All the while, as he walked, the rain continued to fall about him. The droplets struck the ground over and over, like continued artillery fire, more rapidly than they had before. Ivan and Noah followed the boy from a distance, careful not to be spotted. Noah wanted to run out and talk to August. He wanted to stop him from being out here, alone and cold. But somewhere deep down inside, he knew that it wouldn't change anything. August? August whipped his head about in the direction of Cain's voice, as, too, did Noah. Cain, what are you doing out here? I could ask you the same thing. It's raining, you know. It's dangerous. You should go home. I don't know if I really have a home to go back to. But that's not important. Sounds plenty important to me. Do you want to stay over at my house? I wouldn't want to impose on your dad. August shook his head. My dad likes you. He wouldn't mind at all. Cain really was there that night? He spoke to August before he... Noah swallowed. He knew what was going to happen, just as surely as he knew that the leaves would fall off the trees during the autumn months. It was inevitable. This wasn't a dream, but a memory. He was watching the events of 6 years ago unfold, the events which had led to August's untimely demise. He'd been waiting out here, in the dark, on a mountain, for Noah. He had waited, and then... Did Noah tell you I was going to be here? August approached Cain, taking care, as he did, not to slip. The mountain paths were ill-maintained, and they were hard enough to navigate during the day, let alone in the dark. It looked like August was being careful. But will that really be enough? No, I was just taking a walk to clear my head. Were you waiting for him? He was supposed to meet up with me a while ago, but he hasn't even texted me. I wonder if his parents are causing him trouble. That's what they do. Mostly his mom, but definitely the both of them. You should head back. I'm sure Noah will text you when he can. I should at least send him a text. My phone went flat. Flat as in dead, or you dropped it? Well, why don't we walk back together? I left my phone at home, but I can text him for you and let him know you went home. Thanks, Cain. You really are a great friend. It doesn't always feel like it. Well, trust me, you are. Thanks for coming to my rescue, Prince Charming. Oh, August. This could have been a polyamorous relationship, you guys. August smiled and laughed softly, as he always did. He had a way of cheering up anyone when they were down. Please, Cain scoffed. You'd be better off saving those lines for Noah. Oh, you know about that, huh? August's voice was slightly tinged with shyness, but he didn't look away from Kane. Noah's pretty obvious with his interests. That's true. I guess he isn't subtle, but maybe that's why I like him so much. He's very honest. The two continued, walking further up the mountain. Ivan and Noah followed. Watch your step now. This weather really is terrible. Noah should have picked a better night to invite you out. I've not seen a downpour this bad in months. I don't mind the rain. I think it's relaxing. It's less so when you're out in it and the wind keeps blowing it into your face. Well, that's true. It would have been nice if I had my camera, though. I think the scenery is very, scenic. You have a real way with words. I try my best. English has never been my greatest subject. A gust of wind blew hard again, harder than before. Silence lapsed between the pair as they continued onwards. Kane was taking the ascent slowly, feeling out the best path. What even Noah didn't realize is that, had August seen his face at that moment, he would have realized the water running down Kane's cheeks was more than just rain. Oh, Kane. Careful on the right, there's some roots sticking out of the path. Try the left instead. All right, Captain. We make a pretty good team. Maybe we could take up mountaineering. Oh, I do like stretching my legs. Though I'd rather not do it in the pouring rain. Maybe we could bring Noah along, too. That would be fun. He isn't the most athletic, but he might agree to it if you're the one who asks. Overhead, thunder rumbled. There was an ominous crack, and then a fork of lightning shattered the sky. Shit, that doesn't sound good. Maybe we should try and pick up the pace. I don't know about you, but I don't fancy being struck by a stray bolt of lightning. It doesn't sound like the best way to go. Agreed. I don't think we're too far from the top, at least. Just be careful, alright? It's pretty steep. One wrong move and then... Ah? August? Kane's eyes widened with alarm. He turned about, searching for August in the dark. August shouldn't have been that far behind him. They'd been walking in tandem for most of their ascent up the mountain. But... Shit. It was raining so hard, their visibility had been severely compromised. The forks of lightning, meanwhile, which split the sky, did little to illuminate their surroundings. August! He was falling. Kane watched, powerless to help him, as August pitched backwards, a dark shape which was barely indistinguishable from the rocks and the trees about him. His body hit the ground. Then he rolled. He fell back, over and over, striking the ground at awkward angles. Oh no. No, I can't watch this. I can't. I'm going to be sick. Noah stood there, frozen in place, rooted to the spot. August's cries were heartrending. He'd known that something like this must have happened, but he'd never once tried to imagine it. It had hurt too much. Now he knew the truth, however. He felt like he might be sick. Why didn't I do anything? I should have been here. I should have stopped this. It should have been me, not him. August! No! It's Ivan. Who has nothing to do with this scene, but hey. Noah might have been motionless, but it wasn't so for Kane and Ivan. They both sprung into action, barreling downwards towards August. Shaking off whatever was holding his legs there, completely still, Noah rushed to catch up. Kane had been the one who had advised caution, but he now threw it all to the wind. His own safety had become a secondary concern. He's really trying to rescue August. August, it's all right. He's crying. He even gets a little crying face. Oh no. Kane was at the foot of the mountain, cradling August to himself. He held the younger man in his arms, his eyes wide with concern. I need to get an ambulance. My phone. Shit, I don't have it. August did not respond. Sunshine. Kane's young face snapped up, tears running down his cheeks, to look at Ivan. Who are you? Get off your ass and start moving. We need to get him to the main street, now. Right. Noah hesitated, seeing the way Ivan jumped to action. The tone of his voice was desperate, and Noah had never seen him so human. Scared, even. August, hang in there. It's okay, we have help. Come on, you'll be okay. Hang in there. The scenery began to shift around Noah, the trees and the mountains melting into one another. The stars began to drip in the sky, just like watercolors. Oh God, I've been flashbanged. The world reformed itself, eaten up by a burst of bright white. It took Noah a few moments to realize where he was, but when he did, gasped. He was in a hospital room. August lay beneath the sheets, his hair spilling across the pillow. His glasses had been removed, and his sneakers, meanwhile, were lying beside the bed, his soles splattered with dirt. August had always been a bright, sunny boy, one whose cheery smiles had captured Noah's heart in an instant. Right now, however, he seemed a shadow of his former self. Noah had never known August to look so small, nor so sad, nor so defeated. August, please. Kane sat by August's bedside, his face contorted with concern. Just try to hang in there, all right? The doctor said everything should be okay. And I'm sure Noah is on his way. I texted him. You've just got to keep it together for a little while longer, that's all. He won't be long now. Everything will be fine. Kane was trying to sound confident, but Noah heard his voice crack. It was obvious, just by looking at him, that he didn't truly believe the words which were coming from his mouth. And why would he? Noah could tell from a distance that August wasn't in a good state. His face was so pale it was hard to distinguish him from the pillows upon which he lay his head. Weakly, he turned to look at Kane. Kane. Yes? What is it? Are you all right? Should I call a nurse? If you need a glass of water, I can get you one. No, I think technically speaking, patients that are, about to die, if they need a glass of water, first of all, that's a bad sign. And secondly, they aren't allowed water, they have to have ice chips. But anyway. No, that's all right. August smiled, a little bemused, perhaps, by the intensity of Kane's offer to help. I don't think I need a nurse. Not when I have you. You're even more attentive than they are. And you really have done a lot for me. Thank you for bringing me here. And thank you for staying with me. It's appreciated. Well, of course I'm going to stay with you. That's not even a question. We're friends. Best friends. I'd never abandon you. I know. You'd never do anything like that. You really are a great guy. Polyamory root when... Noah looked around. He couldn't see Ivan anymore. I wonder if Ivan really was there that night. Because he was in the dream, but now that he's disappeared, it could be that he was just like, I can't see this, and went away, but I wonder if Ivan was really actually there that night. I thought you hated me in the beginning. What? I appeared out of the blue and took Noah's attention, didn't I? I'm sorry. But you never complained. You've always been really supportive, both of Noah and of me. I'm very lucky that I met you. You have no idea how much it meant to me, being your friend. Huh? What do you mean, meant? Your fall wasn't that serious. You're not going to die from a few cracked ribs. I won't let you. I wasn't aware I needed your permission. August laughed weakly, though it was short-lived. His chuckles soon transmuted into a wince, then a series of sharp inhalations, one which made Kane grimace. Maybe you should stop talking. You're only making yourself worse. Just take deep breaths, all right, and try not to worry. Noah will be here soon. He has to be. You tell me not to worry, and yet August's expression softened. I think you're worrying more than I am. Well, yeah, we're friends. Noah adores you. If anything happened to you, he'd be devastated. That's why you can't die, you hear? Not from a fall like that. I'm doing my best. It feels hard to breathe, Kane. It feels like something is creeping up over my skin and pulling. Shit. Kane cursed, his face taut with panic. Maybe I really should go and find a nurse. They'll know what to do. Everything will be all right, so... Kane. August held Kane's hand even tighter. He held Kane in place with more strength than one might expect from a bed-bound individual. Then, in a voice which was surprisingly authoritative, he spoke up. Don't go. Please. I don't want to be on my own. It'll only be for a little while, though. I'll find somebody. Everything will be all right. You have to be all right. If you're not, Noah will. He'll be fine. How can you say that? You know how much he cares about you. Hell, he loves you. He loves you with all of his heart. I know he does. Once again, August winced. He didn't, however, drop his hand from Kane's. I know that Noah will be upset, but he'll be able to endure. He'll have you, after all. He won't be alone. So please, don't cry. Not over me. Everything will work out, like you said, one way or the other. Even if I'm not around, because you'll be there. What? But, August, no. You can't. I can't. Why is that? You've known him a lot longer than I have. I can't think of anybody who'd take better care of him than you. I know he means a lot to you, more than you'll admit. Kane inhaled. He stared at August, his expression tortured. Whatever I feel, it doesn't matter at all. I just want you to be okay and Noah to have you and be happy. You can be honest with me, Kane. I want you to be. I know that he likes you, and I know I don't have any chance with him, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm in love with him, too. Silence passed, following Kane's confession. Noah stared at him, still standing in the entrance of the hospital ward, unseen by both Kane and August. He loves me? How long has he felt this way about me? I know. August, however, seemed less stunned by this news than Noah. He smiled wryly, his hands still within Kane's. I can tell. Huh? Then, all this time you knew? I picked up on it eventually. If I'd realized sooner, maybe I wouldn't have gotten so close to Noah. But by the time I did realize, it was too late. I had already fallen for him. Softly, August laughed, a weak sound which culminated in a breathy exhalation of pain. August, please. Kane gave August's hand a squeeze. Don't talk. You need to conserve your energy. I'm sure Noah will get here soon. Then you can tell him that you slipped and that you were stupid, but everything will be all right. You have to be all right. I mean, he loves you. I know. A perturbed look flashed across August's face, one which furrowed his brow, but it soon faded. He smiled once again, albeit tremulously, and quietly, he said, Part of me wishes he didn't now. Why? Because this is going to kill him, too. Stay with him, Kane. Don't give up on him if he gives up on you, okay? Of course, I'll always be there for him, but please don't make us go through that. Just stay. Stay strong. August looked up at Kane. His face was deathly white, like whey, and his blonde hair was hopelessly disheveled. His breathing was irregular. It sounded strained. His every exhalation caught in his throat, like a burr. August was only 18, but he was wheezing like someone far older. Noah could see the life beginning to fade from August's green eyes. His irises looked horribly dull, his face strangely naked without the lenses of his circular glasses. But before August's eyelids could slide shut, he was able to choke out one last plea. Take care of Noah for me. Look after him. And don't let anybody hurt him. Oh, August. More than I'm going to. If you can promise me that, then I can go without any regrets. Well, of course I'll look after Noah. That goes without saying. I'll always be there for him. But what good is that when you're not here? You're the one he loves. You're the one he cares about. If you die, I don't know what he'll do. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know. August, please. Kane entreated August, his voice rising in pitch with every exclamation. He sounded half crazed, and he looked it, too. His eyes were wide and frantic, his pupils tiny pinpricks in a vast white sea. But August did not reply to him. Perhaps he could not. The ability of speech seemed one he could no longer muster. Did he not have the energy? He was still breathing, albeit barely, but... August? August! Even these weak, shallow breaths began to taper out. The silence between August's labored inhalations became longer and longer until... Oh, fuck. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to Noah. I thought you loved him. How could you die from a little fall like that? How could you? Even August's inhalations ceased. His body, which lay back on the snowy white hospital bed, was indistinguishable from a corpse's on a mortuary slab. His skin was ghostly white, his eyelids tightly shut. His lips were pursed, but no breath came from between them. He wasn't breathing. He must have... August, you bastard. The tears came faster now. You fucking bastard. How could you? How could you? I'll never forgive you. How could you be so selfish? Fuck. Kane's accusations, however, fell on deaf ears. August did not chide him for being unfair, which he was, and neither did he tease him for being foolish, which, again, he was. August didn't say anything at all. Noah knew, as he stood in the threshold of the white, featureless hospital room, that August would never say anything again. He was dead. All right, and I'm sorry that I have to do this to you, but with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. Kind of a low point, but we all knew that it was going to happen eventually. I mean, episode 1, we see August's funeral. We knew this entire game that he was dead. I'm very, I don't want to say happy, but I'm glad that we got to see the moment. We got to see it actually happen. That's one of my biggest questions that I had with this game, is how did August die? Because it very obviously was not of, old age or anything. It wasn't a good death, we'll say. So I've been interested this entire time in seeing how he died, and I'm happy that I got the answers to that question, but kind of melancholic that we actually got to see that moment and saw August die. Really interesting, both in the way that August's death has changed Noah's character, which we saw, all throughout this game, but then also being able to see in this episode the way that it changed Cain's character. August saying, "Promise me that you'll never let anyone hurt Noah as much as my death is going to hurt him." In any other context, that's a nice line, but in this specific context, in the way that Cain obviously took that, that's so sad, so upsetting. Such an interesting way to look at this character and see how he has touched these two lives in very different ways with the same moment. But anyway, enough of me rambling and talking about characterization and all of that. I do need to end this episode here. So, thank you for watching this episode. I don't want to say I hope you enjoyed because that's kind of mean, but I hope you got some big questions answered in this as well. And I'll see you in the next one for when we hopefully finally find Cain and sort of talk this through. I'm interested in seeing what Noah and Cain are going to say to each other, both in the shadow of August's death and then also that confession that Noah heard of Cain being in love with him. Wow. What two very different conversations I think we're about to have. I'll see you then, though, for those.